What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. This one's going to be a little different. Typically, we're doing like some kind of tutorial or behind the scenes, and this time we're doing a kind of podcast style. And so what is making it different other than that is I have John on, who's a member of the team. He is a photographer, videographer, everything else, and he helps me produce all the content for this channel as well. So I thought it'd be fun to bring him on, ask a few different questions back and forth. Today we're going to theme it. So we're going to go talking about editors, pricing, turnaround time, virtual staging, the whole thing. So John, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, of course. So I think let's just get into it. I want to bring a lot of value. And I know you got a couple of questions for me, and I just want to figure out how we can enlighten some people and help save them some time as they are growing their business.
Yep, 100%.
What do you got for me?
Well, you didn't send me the questions.
That's okay. I know you can do it.
So whenever we're telling other people how to look for an editor,
yeah,
I guess what are some of the most important qualities that you want from them to know that they're a good fit for your team and that you want to bring them on?
Number one is that they speak really good English.
Yeah.
I know that's like, not necessarily what you would think is like your number one thing, but it's kind of important that you can communicate things. If you're like, I need you to be able to remove this, and they know what you're actually talking about when you say that. Or you're like, the white balance is off and they know what you're saying. It's pretty important. But then, other than that, I think it's a good point to keep in mind that we expect them to be like 80% there. Like the photos, when they get sent back, I'm not anticipating having that Dropbox link, the link that I send to a client. That's just not what we do, and I don't think that's what you should do. So we send off the photos. They have a really good idea of how we want them edited. We get them back. Christy, our creative director, takes them from there and puts them in Lightroom, puts all of the final touches on them, whether that's like removing cords, fixing white balance, changing cabinet colors to make sure they're actually correct because we do HDR. There's like a bunch of little things, and then we send them off. So it's really good to have an editor that gets you really close to the finish line, but don't expect them to get you all the way.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of people don't want to give up editing themselves because they think that they're the best at it. Mm-hmm. But in a lot of cases, there is somebody else out there that is even better than you. And they do it. And I know you say this a lot. They do it day in and day out. Like, it's what they do full time.
Yeah, it's their career.
They get to be really good at it. And as long as they get that 80%, that's 100% awesome.
Yeah, I know, I agree. And I think it's good to keep in mind that you have things that you're really good at as well when you're out in the field shooting. Like, you want to be focusing on your angles, your composition. There's a lot of things to be thinking about. And if you can dial in your daily tasks and have your editor, dial in theirs, it's like there's more people to the team than just you. And when I was editing my own photos like 5 years ago, I look back on those and, man, I thought I was pretty good, but that is not the case.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they're just so good at it. And it's funny, I just recently had my editor send me a screen recording of him doing one photo because I'm like, I would just want to see your process, like compared to what I used to do. And it is so in depth. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And you just think, man, we're shooting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 houses in a day. And sometimes they can be 80 photos. And imagine you trying to scale and grow your business, and you're editing all of those photos, and they're all taking like 15 minutes a piece to edit. And the thing is, you can't. Even if you don't sleep, you just don't even have the time still.
Yeah.
And I think it's important. It's like, how do you want to run your business? Do you want to be creative and charge a couple $1,000s per house and work with like really elite and you do every single thing yourself? Or do you want to scale it in a way that you can bring on more people, you can outsource things, and you can grow your team?
Yeah, I definitely like that version better.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense for us to be doing that.
So a lot of people I see in these Facebook groups like to share their video editor, and they say, oh, this guy's really great. He's created me some great content. He charges X amount of dollars for a video. You guys should really use him. And I know that us at Coastal Luxury Image have taken like a step back from that. Mm-hmm. And we've done it a little bit differently where we have 2 editors overseas and they're on salary.
Yeah.
And can you explain the benefits to doing that and why it makes more sense as a growing team? Yeah,
I think so. For photo editing, just to be clear, we don't do a salary. We do pay per photo. And just so everybody's aware, we pay $1 per HDR photo and 50 cents for single exposure photos. So just to give you a frame of reference, a lot of people pay more. A lot of people pay less. We've just found like this person that we work with is very good, and that is like, that's how much we charge, or how much they charge. For video editing though, initially I held on to video editing for a long time. First of all, like I edited all my own videos for quite a while. And then it just really got to the point where I just wasn't sleeping. So had to figure out a solution. Found a few different video editors, tried them out, and it was all just like per shoot, you know, a dollar amount, a fixed amount. And it ranges anywhere from like $30 to like $120. And if you're doing a lot of volume, if you're paying like $100 a piece, man, it like really, really adds up. And we ended up finding somebody that I really liked. We were doing per shoot for a little bit. But then we were like starting to get more into like podcasts and other things. And I wanted to utilize this person for more than just the real estate videos, and ended up offering him a salary. And looking back, you know, they said yes. And looking back, it was such a good move, because even though in the wintertime it's a little bit slower and, you know, it might be a little bit harder, it's like a solid, consistent thing that we can rely on, both myself, the company, and the video editor. Like it's just, for him, having the consistency year round is really important. And then we ended up hiring his friend, funny enough, on salary also.
Yeah,
so like one of them is real estate videos only, like listings, and the other one is podcast, talking head, marketing videos, etc. So for us, it makes a lot of sense to do the salary.
Yeah. And I think the biggest reason why a salary is good too is because you're able to work with those editors, and you're able to curate like the final form of what the edit should look like.
Yeah, really good point.
Instead of like dollars in, dollars out, it's like you have this like team, and they feel like they're part of the team, and you're able to work with them, get their skills better, and evolve together.
Yeah, like we actually communicate with them on a daily basis, and they know what style we like. We can send them back edits really quickly, and it's been really good.
So as you scale and you are producing a ton more videos, it can start to get overwhelming, where you have so many projects going on, especially when you're starting to do talking head and podcasts on top of the listings. Mm-hmm. How or what is the best way to keep all that organized and make sure that you're staying in good communication with your editors, and that they know everything going on, and there's always a timeline of everything, so you can quickly glance at it and know exactly what you need to do?
Yeah, for a while we were pretty unorganized, I would say, because it's like when you're just getting into it, you don't really know what you need to do. You don't know what you don't know. But as time has gone on, we figured out like, hey, we really actually need a project management software. So we tried Asana for a little bit. Didn't really love it for us. Not that it's a bad software, but it just didn't feel like the right fit. And then we started to use ClickUp, and it has been really good. So initially, we were just doing it for video projects, but now we're doing it for photo and video. So everything in the business is run out of ClickUp. So we do it like in 3 different spaces, they call it. So we have our listing photos, we have listing videos, and then we have content creation. So content creation is mostly our monthly members that come into the studio and shoot content for marketing purposes. And then the listing videos, obviously listing videos, photos, everything is run through there. And so we'll just put, you know, it's by day. We'll make a task and we'll say, you know, house address this, put in a Dropbox link with all of the information that they need in it, and send it off, and the editors see it. It's in like the editing column. And then first thing in the morning, they send it back, move it over into internal review. And from internal review, obviously we're like doing our editing and our little tweaks, and then we put it in deliver and send it off to the client. So honestly, to be able to look at something from like a bird's eye view and go, okay, these are the projects that we have open right now. This is what's going on, rather than you're like looking through Slack, looking through text messages, you're looking through the calendar, you're like, what did we shoot? Where are we? What do we still need to deliver? And then you're like 2 weeks deep into something, and you're like, oh man, we got to do this. Yeah. And like, we ran into it a few times where we're doing podcasts, and we will clip out the podcast, and we're like, okay, we're ready to go. The podcast is edited. And then we're like, oh, we never did clips. And it's a bad feeling when you know that you are messing up on like your end of the bargain for a client, essentially. And we're always just trying, like, value is like key, and you can feel when you're like, okay, we're getting a little sloppy and the value is not there anymore. So I think ClickUp or some other version is a really crucial part to growing your business. Stay organized. Make sure you're delivering things on time, especially as you get into like marketing videos.
Yeah. I know you said this the other day. I was telling you how years ago, I felt like my schedule was packed and I felt like overwhelmed, and it's just because I wasn't like organized.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have all these things to do in my head, and I know, and I feel overwhelmed, and I think I can't take on any more tasks right now. Mm-hmm. And that's how we felt like just months ago before ClickUp. And now that we have ClickUp, I'm like, man, we can take on so many more clients right now because we can visualize everything. We know exactly where everything is.
I think it's a super good point. It's like when you're just in the thick of trying to figure out where you even are.
Yeah.
It's like you feel like you're just so busy just because you're overwhelmed. But like you said, once it's organized, and I think the 30,000 foot view is just the most important part, where you can just literally look at everything on a board and you go, this is what we have to do. Mm-hmm. And that's it. You don't have to like struggle trying to figure out like where a project is or where it's at, you know, in editing and so on. And it's like, as you add in more team members, it gets a little more confusing, a little more difficult to like communicate everything. So instead of like a text here or Slack here or whatever, it's all in one place. And so you can just see the communication.
I think that's all the questions on editing that I really had right now. And I'm sure that there's a ton more that people would want to know. Yeah. So, you know, definitely in the comments, leave any questions that you might have on workflow or choosing editors and all that kind of stuff, whether it's video or photo editing.
You know, we're really busy, like truthfully, and I still want to keep YouTube a priority. So to do that, I want to like be able to have John on and just have some assistance with like still bringing value, because I'm not really making very much money on this, like at all, but it's still important. Like, I just want to make sure that I'm helping everybody that's trying to get into this business, like buy down their time a little bit, essentially, where it took me like so many years to figure out little tiny things that I could have just known right off the bat by videos like this. So I feel like if we can just keep on delivering these kind of videos and some value, it'll actually impact some people. So
yeah, there's a great importance to consolidation.
Yeah, for sure.
And just having everything in one small place. Yep. Instead of finding it.
And if you guys are trying to grow your business right now and, you know, 2023 isn't quite treating you how you wanted it to, or even if you are doing pretty good, honestly, and you just want to like get a little bump, we do have a marketing course available down below. Don't have to buy it. You can just watch all the YouTube videos. We have a lot of information in there as well. But if you're trying to get a jump on it, you can click on that link. But I think that's it for this one, guys. John, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude. All right. We'll see you guys in the next one.
See ya.